Hi everyone, I'm Mackenzie Schenk from NJ.com. I'm here with Kevin Minnick and Bill Evans, our football reporters. We're going to be talking a little bit about the non-public Group 2 game between St. Joseph of Hamilton and Holy Spirit. This game preview is presented by Rothman Orthopedic Institute. Bill, tell us a little bit about this game. It seems like it's going to be a pretty interesting one. What can you give us about St. Joseph and Holy Spirit?
Yeah, these teams are two traditional rivalries, probably one of the better rivalries in South Jersey. They call this the Holy War. They played the last game of the regular season. Holy Spirit went up 14-0. St. Joe's came back and won it 28-14. Obviously, it was a very competitive game that night at Holy Spirit, only about a month ago, and you'll probably see a very similar, hotly contested game this weekend or next weekend.
All right, now are there any key players that we can keep an eye out for?
Oh, absolutely. You start with Holy Spirit. You look at the running back, a junior in Elijah Gray. He's only about 5'9", but he's about 195, 200 pounds, and it's an absolute bull to bring down. Quarterback Ryan Yost in his first and only season at Holy Spirit after transferring from Shawnee. Dynamic quarterback for them, and Ahmad Brown, probably one of their top receivers. So if Holy Spirit is going to challenge St. Joe in this game, obviously Yost is going to have to do his job, and Elijah Gray is going to have to pound the football.
Yeah, and for St. Joe's, it starts with Jada Byers. He's a small back, but he might be the most electric running back in the entire state. Over 1,600 yards, 28 touchdowns. He's the game breaker, and the first time that these teams met, when St. Joe's was down, he's the one that helped bring them back. Up front, they've got one of the better lines in the state. Wisdom Quarshi, who's a two-way lineman who's going to go to Temple. You have Sean Morris, you have Brad Lomax, and those big boys really kind of set the tone. And if they give Jada, a little bit of a crease, he could turn into a big run. Nate Johnson is another running back that has 500 yards. So St. Joe's is going to want to pound the football. They don't throw it as much as Holy Spirit does, so they're not as balanced, but they're probably a little more explosive just because of what Jada Byers is going to bring to this game.
All right, now that being said, who are you guys picking to win this game?
I was at the first meeting, and early on it looked like Holy Spirit was going to run away with that. But obviously, Jada Byers brought them back, so I'm going to say maybe a little bit of a higher scoring game this time, but maybe not much, like 28-21, St. Joe's Ham.
Oh, I agree with you in that I like St. Joe in this game, but I've seen this game play out too many times, and I know how familiar they are, but this particular St. Joe team is on a mission. I really think St. Joe is going to come out on this football field and dominate from start to finish. I like St. Joe to win this game somewhere in the neighborhood of 35-14.
All right, you heard it here from NJ.com. We will see you guys there at the game.